Hello, everyone. This is Josh Ochs, the host of the SmartSocial.com podcast. Today, I have some awesome ambassadors here, and we're going to talk with real students about what it's like to be a social media ambassador at the high school that they're at. And we're going to talk with their teacher all about what it's like to represent students. And you're going to notice today on this podcast and in this video that the students are not just there to help protect students, but also because they have a device in their hands that can help them reach a lot of people in a very short period of time. We have a lot of students. First, before we get started, can one of the students stand up and tell me what school are you at and what is your grade?
Hi, my name is Julianne. We are here at High Point Regional High School up in North Jersey, and I'm in 12th grade.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. What is a social media ambassador to you guys? Maybe in the back, Henry, what is a social media ambassador?
So I'm Henry. So social media ambassador here at High Point, we are really trying to brand ourselves and our school. We do a bit of both. So what we really want to do is get everybody involved in our school. We want to get community outliers who usually don't come to events often. We want people who maybe are just lonely by themselves. We want to bring them in and involved. Our real passion for doing it is getting media out so that way we feel good about ourselves, the community feels good, and if we can save a life or two while doing it, why not? That's what we do here tonight.
Henry, you're amazing. Wow, this is great. You get an A. I love it. All right, so Kevin in the back, talk to us about what does this mean to you? What does this mean to the school? Nice and loud if you could.
Sure. 3 years ago, we started this program, the Social Media Ambassador Program here at High Point Regional High School. The goal was to tell stories from behind the viewpoint or behind the lens of the student experience and what is actually happening in our school. We wanted to give the community, their parents, an inside look to everyday occurrence of our students. Whether that be a fundraiser, a National Honor Society inductions, athletics, whatever it was that is happening in our community, we wanted to take a look and see. And the biggest thing we also wanted to do was control our narrative. We were tired of looking at various pieces of social media and tired of news organizations putting up things that was one-sided. We wanted to say, hey, there's a lot of positive, great things that are going on in your school. Let's fill them in. Let's show them what's happening.
I love that. Hey, can anyone tell me a positive story of what you've seen or what you've done? A good example of maybe something that happens weekly or something positive that happened in the last month as a part of the social media ambassador program? Does anyone have like a good example that other schools should use as an example, or maybe something cool that happened that nobody expected? Feel free to stand up or raise your hand.
This week at our school is actually Spirit Week, so you can see a bunch of us are wearing pajamas today for Pajama Day. So we're able to use our platform on social media to get that message out to our whole entire school so more people participate.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, Henry in the back again. Stand up.
We also did another Spirit Week before, but start with Hello, the Sandy Hook Promise Foundation, and they do a lot to help out those kids in need. So with that type of platform, we got so many kids involved in making posters and doing cards, and we just spent times around the school. It was really cool.
That's awesome. Anybody else have any stories or examples, or maybe an event that you're a part of that being a social media ambassador you think helps?
We recently just had 2 students, I think Kendra was one of them, was at Ed Camp Hat. And this was a big meeting for all teachers and professionals in humanities and tying technology to it. And they volunteered their time to go in and tweet out the day, everything that was going on to teach other teachers on how to use technology in their classrooms and tying in the humanity aspect of it. But for a student to take the time out of their day just to volunteer their time and share that information through their own personal platforms and their professional platforms, that was really, impressive.
Okay, question to the ambassadors. How many of you are on Instagram by a show of hands? Awesome. How many of you think that an employer is going to see your Instagram someday when they search for you online by a show of hands? Okay, the whole room. How many of you how many of you know of somebody that is at school that has a Finstagram or a spam account? The whole room. Awesome. How many of you think that maybe an employer might someday see that spam account? Okay. And how many of you think it's important for us at the age of, can anyone talk to me about, stand up nice and loud and clear, talk to me about maybe something you're doing on your real Instagram account or your spam account. Those of you that are listening right now, a spam account is the second Instagram that sometimes parents don't know about, but kids can be more free and they have less followers and they can be more kind of in tune and have fun and be silly. Talk to me about what are you doing on your real Instagram to build a portfolio that you might be proud of a college finding. Is anybody in the room doing that? Or is there something that maybe you're doing so that can someone stand up, tell me what they might have a side hobby or they're proud of what they're doing online?
I mean, I'm not personally, but I do know of someone, I won't name them, but she's a photographer, and she posts like all of her pictures that she's proud of, like the final cuts and the final edits onto her Instagram, which kind of works as a portfolio for her for college and for jobs. That's
awesome. Anybody else know of anyone at school that's doing that? How many of you go ahead.
So on my Instagram, what I do is I'm into making music and writing lyrics and producing it. So I know that I work on my Instagram to try and push my music out there and spread the word and share it with other people.
How many of you, by a show of hands, have searched for yourself on Google in the last month? And how many of you have ever searched for, like, let's say in the last month, you've searched for your parents? Anybody? How many of you have ever searched for your parents online?
Yeah.
And how many of you have ever searched for one of the teachers at the school? Okay, awesome. So how many of you think that the future employer is going to search for you, a future college? You guys think that? Yeah. What do you think they're going to find? Has anybody found something that's inappropriate, that's not them, that they didn't post, that they see something that's silly that makes them laugh? Anybody?
I'm a little concerned because there's 4 Kevin Fenlons on. If you search, yes, that's right. There are 4 of them as you go on Google, and they're all different all over the place. I want to make sure when people look up my information, they know it's actually me.
Yep.
I'm a filmmaker in LA because there's a Kevin Fenlon there. There actually is a soccer coach in England right now. I'm not saying they're doing anything appropriate, but if they're looking for me, and you never know what they're going to be posting out, I want to make sure my school knows if they're ever looking me up, that they know which one is which. So how do I minimize some of that? How do I kind of clean that up if I want to focus just me on Google? Is there a way to do that?
Yeah, let's go. Do you mind if we Google you together live on the big screen and let everybody on the...
Sure.
Is that okay? Do you mind if we do that?
Sure.
I mean, I'd rather not talk hypothetical. I'd rather do it right now. And if Kevin's okay with that, I'd rather just do that. So let me open up a new Chrome browser. We're doing this remote. The world we live in is incredible. It's incredible that we can do this. So I'm going to share with you guys my screen, and we're going to go Google Kevin, and then we're going to Google me, and we're going to laugh at the results. If you guys don't mind, is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you guys see my screen? The Google.
Yeah.
Okay. The Google. I sound like, yeah. It sounds so high-tech. All right. So Kevin, your last name is spelled Fenlon, correct? All right, so we have Facebook. Now let's go think like an employer. To all the ambassadors in the room right now, remember, you're like, no, that's not me. I'm blonde and I make music, and that person's brunette and they're 25. That's totally not me. Well, let's go play around here. Let's say that Kevin was a senior in college, and we wanted to get him into it. My dream is that you guys all get amazing jobs. So, Kevin, I've only met Kevin on video once. So it's like, okay, maybe that's him. Maybe that's him. There's somebody running there. All right, cool. We're set, the death of Kevin. So, and obviously that's probably not him. And for everybody listening on the podcast right now, we're rolling through simple Google results, and we're just going to see how the world sees it. Now, I am logged in the upper right, and there is a trick to going incognito. Raise your hand in the audience if you know what incognito is, or private browsing. Raise your hand if you're using it from time to time. Anybody? Nobody's using it? All right. So when you search for yourself, you want to go incognito because you want to see how the rest of the world is searching for you. So let's keep going. So Kevin has an IMDb. Now, Kevin's like, no, this isn't me. Well, it could be him, especially if it was inappropriate films. Here's a Twitter, right? Book an appointment. And Kevin, are any of these you?
No.
Truth Finder, look at this.
Now
Has Kevin been arrested? Traffic, Kevin, it looks like you have traffic tickets, addresses, and more, right? All these different things, right? And see, to all the ambassadors in the room, people are trying, you're doing a great job communicating what's going on and protecting people, but also the world is going to search for us online. You know that, but I don't think enough of us actually go do that. So this is Kevin until proven otherwise. What do you mean? Well, in the internet world, they're going to click on one of these and they're going to find the creepy one. They're like, well, hold on, wait, that's the one I should click on, right? They're going to find the weirdest one. And that's the one they're going to. Kevin, are any of these Facebook profiles yours?
The one with the little puppy on it there, that's my dog, Gemma. Yeah.
That's the cutest one, but do you think that a future employer is going to click on the cutest one?
Well, here's the thing, Josh. My principal and my supervisors are in the room right now, and I'm a little concerned. Watching this. I know I'm going to have a meeting with them later. They're going to ask me about all of these, so I appreciate you bringing that up.
I love it. So my point is, Kevin's done a good job. He's proud of this image, and he really has nothing to hide. Otherwise, he wouldn't be doing this video with you guys. But he has nothing really to hide here, so he's done a good image. But look at all these other people that might be stealing his thunder, and that's really what I want to talk to people about on the podcast right now and everywhere else. For instance, if we Google Josh Ochs, and I'm logged in, so you're going to see a bunch of my stuff on the right-hand side. So I'm actually going to go into an incognito window because I'm logged into Google. You'll see my contact info and all this other junk. Let's go ahead and zoom back. And this is what I want everybody in the room to do later today, this week. You've got a whole week to do this. I've gotten good at creating results for myself, Google results, by flooding the internet with positive stuff. So you've got my personal website. How many of you in the room have a personal website that has your name on it? Anybody? Okay, I see 3, 4, 5 in the little tiny screen. That's awesome. Then you've got my Twitter. Now look, you can rifle through my tweets, and you could see an angry tweet that I might send. Now, I don't send angry tweets, but you get the idea. You could, front and center, you can see Twitter. Now, if you're listening to this podcast and you're thinking, that's cool, I'm not on Twitter, someone else's Twitter might come up. That's why you need to search for yourself. Eventually, Instagram and Snapchat are trying to get into the Google results. Wait, Snapchat, what? It's private. It's all about, no. Eventually, everybody goes to Google. 75% of the world starts their search on Google. And the second largest search engine is YouTube, which we're all familiar with. But guess who owns YouTube? Google. So when you search for Josh Ochs, YouTube videos come up. And that's why it's imperative that everybody in the room right now, everybody in the audience, goes and searches for themselves online. And if you find a video that was of you 7 years ago, when you were a kid and you were making something, would you wear the same clothes from 7 years ago? Probably not, right? You'd be like, well, what was I thinking? Why was I wearing that? Well, it's the same is true for what you're posting online. You can go and delete it, privatize it, download it, and go, I don't really want people to see that thing. I have a different wardrobe, and I have a different set of Google results. So the point is, go search for yourself, look at what comes up. There's really nothing that I've seen that's new. And then go click on those images. Go find out, what's out there. I've got a bunch of nerdy stuff about me, but who's that? Right? Right? Who's that football player? And who's that? And my mom might say, no, that's not my angel. That's my angel. My angel doesn't have facial hair. Well, actually, that guy kind of looks like me, right? He's not that much different. And he is me until proven otherwise, right? And then that dude, who's that, right? That's not me. And then, wait, who's that guy getting arrested, right? And that's why it turns out he has nothing to do with me, but for some reason, I was pulled up in his Google results because Google connected us. Now, that some people might think maybe that's his dad, his uncle. That's me or my family until proven otherwise, even though I don't know that person. Who is that, right? And I've done a good job of putting my best foot forward, and you can see all the things I'm in. But if there's a person getting arrested and their mugshot, then it's you got to ask, are they going to click on that over other stuff? And that's why, right? That's why I've flooded the internet with stuff that I want to get caught, seeing. I want people to see the silly side of Josh that is in line with my career. Now, in no way, shape, or form am I always on. I definitely have some silly, nerdy stuff that's on my Instagram, and I'm okay with it. But that's what I want to talk to all of you about. Is there anyone else that wants me to Google them really quickly right now? Before we kind of wrap this up, does anyone want to stand? Kevin or Henry in the back. Would you feel comfortable with us Googling you?
Let's go.
Let's do it. Henry, I don't play favorites, but if I did. Okay. Henry, what's your last name?
Lembo. Lembo.
Okay. Henry Lembo. All right. So what's that?
E.
Spell it for me.
Lembo.
Thank you. Sorry. Okay. Here we go. All right. So we've got Henry. Henry, is this you?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So that's your Twitter. Awesome. Student Showcase. Is that you?
Yeah.
Look at this. This is awesome. And then is this you as well?
Yep.
Oh, that's great. And then how about this? STEM Car Race Challenge?
Yep, that was a video I made.
That's amazing. And then we're just scrolling through. Look, this is what an employer – so an employer sees the Henry that they're looking for. This is important. They see the Henry they're looking for. We're looking at videos. Henry. Yeah, you've done a good job of making sure other people don't come up. Now, is this you?
I believe yes, right there, yeah.
You've got another Twitter. Cool. Is this your Facebook?
No. I do not have a Facebook currently at the moment.
Okay. So what I want to encourage you to do is go create a Facebook, even if you think it's for your parents hang out and you don't want to. See how Google is actually begging you, hey, we're looking for a Facebook profile for this person. It's almost like you're in a classroom and someone's begging you. If you just do the extra credit and spend 17 minutes doing it, I'll jump you from a B to an A. And Google or Facebook is actually going to give you that B to an A. So I would, if I were you, just a crazy idea for everybody in the room, everybody listening right now, my kids don't want to be on Facebook because that's where I'm at and they think it's terrible. Well, if you just go create and put your best foot forward, not your fake foot forward, but the you that is creating projects, STEM education, look, STEM car race. If Henry were to do that, you could go create a Facebook that comes up and people would see that's the High Point High School in New Jersey student that we're looking for. Does that kind of make sense to everybody? They're actually begging you. Google, there's certain things that your teachers mean well, but there's certain things the internet is begging us for that most people don't know. And that's just go Google yourself and find out what's missing and then go create that with the honest person that you are. Self-deprecating is fine with projects. Give them a well-rounded picture of who you are. Let them find the Henry or the Kevin that they're looking for, right? So 2017, New Jersey Department of Education. Is this you?
Not that I know.
It looks kind of cool. It's in your state, right? So financial disclosure, I don't know. Maybe it's not you, but you see that things come up. And
That's our profile.
Oh, that's my Facebook profile. What?
What's that?
That's my Facebook profile?
Yeah. See how weird that is? Have you Googled yourself lately?
I have not, actually. Not.
You have today. All right. Okay, Student Showcase. So you got a lot of videos. This is awesome. One of the things I want you to do, Henry, is go through the All tab. I want you to go through the News tab and see if anything comes up. Look, High Point, fourth mark, right? So these are probably you. If they have to do with the word High Point, it's awesome because we haven't searched for High Point. Now, everybody else in the room, wait, I'm Henry Lembo and my name didn't come up. There's all these other Henrys. Kevin, this is what you're going to do. You're going to put your name in quotes. And then you can put the word High Point after it. If all these other Henrys are coming up and you click all. So what do quotes mean? Quotes mean that you're searching for the word Henry plus the last name in that order. You're not getting a guy with like Josh Lembo and then Henry Smith, because what Google's really doing is scouring the internet and trying to find its best use case. But if you say, Google, that was great, but you had all these other names, I want Henry plus Lembo in that order anywhere on the page. And plus, I want the word High Point in there because I want it tied to a school. And this is what employers are going to be doing. Maybe not today, but colleges really follow what employers are doing. And employers are doing most of this today, and colleges will be doing this in the next week, the next month, the next 2 years. They're starting to Google more. 60 to 70% of them admit to Googling, and I would argue the rest of them are really doing that if they're going to lend the next 4 years of your life to their campus and mold you into an awesome person. They want to see how you behave on campus. So that's an all, and then let's click on the news, and then also images, and just see what comes up, right? We've got the Henry we're looking for. Great, positive things forward. If we saw a bunch of stuff that was really inappropriate, like he's just being stupid or derogatory, then we might want to just remove that because it may not be the best foot forward. But he's done a great job. Henry, you're doing awesome. These are all things that that they look great. We found the Henry we were looking for, and
Josh,
so on.
question for you.
Yes.
The videos that you see there, and I think most of our students know what those videos are, they have an educational platform that they use. It's called our educational YouTube channel. And every video that they create in our media department gets put there. So every time they put up information in any of their digital footprint, once it's Google, they can actually start building a better portfolio of information that's out there for all of them. Is that correct?
Indeed. Yeah, exactly. And so that's why it's so important. Step one, I want all of you to go to Google and find out what's there. If it's missing, or if there's all these other people, then you're going to go to YouTube, you're going to go to Facebook, you're going to go to medium.com, LinkedIn, and start creating other well-rounded things, because Google is just begging. It's saying, we're looking for the Henry, we're looking for the Kevin that people are Googling. All we want is to find stuff. Literally, they're just looking for stuff. And if you don't give it to anything, and here's what a lot of your parents are going to say, oh, I don't want my son to be online yet. Well, if you're 14, 15, or 16, and you're starting to think about college, Google's going, well, I'm going to put in all the other Kevins. I mean, there might be a Kevin that's been arrested. There might be all these other things. I'm going to fill it in with all these other people. And that's really what we as ambassadors need to do, is put our best foot forward so that other Josh Ochses don't show up. As I showed you a few minutes ago, we want the best Joshes. And the trick to that is going to be creating YouTube videos, looking at the people we don't like. YouTube's going to be powerful. Filling out your Google Plus, even though Google Plus is kind of going away, filling out the Google Plus, creating an Instagram under your real name when your parents and your school are ready for that. And just going through and weeding things out. It's your wardrobe, and we got to make sure that your wardrobe is something you're proud of today, and it's not from 7 years ago. If you find yourself saying, oh yeah, but that's cool, that's my Prezi from 7 years ago and it was fun, or that photo, whatever, that's like me, but it's not a big deal. I'm not flipping off the camera. It's the guy next to me. They won't judge me. How many of you think that a college is going to gauge us based on the people that we surround ourselves with? Probably, right? And the same is true of the people that we hang out with. So that's why I want you to go online, weed out the stuff that you might not be proud of anymore. I mean, Kevin's here to help. He wants to make sure that you're shining online as well. And I want all of you as ambassadors to also have an amazing resume, because that is another way, another layer of saying, hey, I'm myself. I am self-deprecating. I make fun of myself. I'm silly. I've got STEM education. I maybe play football or chess or whatever. You have to be passionate about stuff, but that's what we want to see come up, instead of maybe other people that might, which is fine. The Bloomsburg, this football player is fine, but we don't want people that are getting arrested, especially if it has nothing to do with us, coming up, because those people. Now, in my case, because I am in the news a lot, they'll tie people that get arrested. They'll say, probably should have listened to Josh Ochs, and unfortunately these people want to come into my Google results. So I have to work even harder to push them down, because they'll mention me in the news. But I think you get the idea. We need to create a resume. Okay. So how are we doing, everybody?
Good.
Okay. Any other questions before we kind of wrap this up? Any other questions about how this whole thing works? What's the biggest frustration that some of you have? Is there a frustration that maybe, okay, I don't have time to do this, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to Google myself until how? Do you guys think? I'm going to ask a question, but the answer is in the question. It takes about 2 years for Google to change your Google results. Sometimes it's 1 year, but it really does take about 2 years. Is there anyone in the room that has Googled themselves, they just don't like the results, or they see completely other people that they might not want to be associated with or confused with? Yeah, we're nodding heads. Yeah. Anyone in the room have an idea of what they might want to put online to change that so that their resume is a little bit different? Crickets.
Website?
A website? Yeah. Yeah. So Henry in the back, once again.
I think really, for the past 2 years now, mostly posting positive stuff on Twitter has really outlined my whole portfolio. And I think that really helps cloud all that other stuff that you don't want seen away, right? And you can kind of filter your life out through that. And I think as this program entirely here at High Point has helped me out filter and understand what good social media is and how to inspire others to do the same. But before that, I have a question for you.
Yes.
And everybody here. What goals should we set for each of our social media accounts, and what does success look like?
Yeah, great question. Do you guys mind if I all right, what does success look like? Can I show you real quick? Can we get a little bit nerdy just for a hot sec? And let me see if I can share with you my screen. Let's use me as an example here real quick. So we'll go main screen 2. So let's go over to Josh Ochs. And so here's a website. I want you to fill out the first page of Google. So if you just see a Twitter, like thank you, Henry, for volunteering. If you just see your Twitter up there, like, great, okay, cool, I've got that. But there's so many more things that other people could jump into and create a different Twitter. Josh Ochs, has he been arrested? ? Right? Kind of like Kevin. That's a normal thing for them to advertise down there. So what I want you to do is you have 10 opportunities here on the first page to have a listing so that people can see the one they're looking for. So I want you to go and create a few more. Now on the personal website, this is your chance to go get a portfolio. Here's what success looks like here. 1, it comes up first. 2, it clearly defines who you are and it has a clear picture of who you are. I want every single network that you're on to have a similar photo. Your school takes a senior photo, a junior photo, a class photo. You could use that. It's something that you're proud of that could end up on your resume if you wanted it to. I'm not saying you have to be super formal, but my website is made on Squarespace. It's about $100 a year, maybe $140 a year. So it's probably like $12 a month. And we build it out and it comes up first. It tells kind of what I do and why people should hire me. I have to interview every single day to be the best Josh I can be. So we put my best foot forward and they can actually see my Instagram and everything else here. So success looks like people knowing that's the Josh that they're looking for immediately. Josh from High Point, right? Or that lives in New Jersey. So let them find that. Next, let's go look at LinkedIn real quick. You're going to see the same clear photo as all the other ones. Is that the Josh we're looking for? You know what? He looks, it looks like the Josh we're looking for. As an online safety speaker, I travel the country. Tell them clearly what you want to do. Don't make your bio something altruistic like, I love long walks on the beach, right? Because as funny and as cool as that sounds, it is not going to help an employer. Employers are so busy. Colleges are so busy. Your dream major is so busy because it's probably impacted that they're thinking to themselves, man, I just want to find the Josh I'm looking for because I've got 15,000 resumes here at UCLA in Southern California, beautiful, sunny Los Angeles. So many people want to fly here and come to this school, even without a financial aid. I'm looking for someone that it's just easy to find. Can you help me reduce the amount of frustration because I'm going to take your resume and put it in the maybe bin? Does anybody think they ever come back to the maybe stack of resumes, the I don't knows? No, because in 2015 or 16 or 17, I don't know, they had 100,000 applications at UCLA. The same is true for all of you amazing ambassadors, everyone listening to this. We just got to make it clear, right? Tell them what you want. Hey, if your parents are okay with it, if your principal is okay with it, I'm a senior at this high school, I'm in the robotics team, and I do this, this, and this, right? Whatever that is. Oh, I think I found the Josh we're looking for. So we've got all these different things that my system is posting. Here's my background. I fill it all in because it helps it come up in the first 10 posts, the first page of Google. You can see what I do. How many of you have a LinkedIn by a show of hands? Who has a LinkedIn? Nice and high. Awesome. How many of you, by a show of hands, LinkedIn comes up on the first page of your Google results? Anybody? Okay, one person. All right, awesome. If you don't have a LinkedIn yet, please, as a high schooler, go consider talking to your parents about it. Talk to your educators, talk to your principal, because this will change your Google results. This is what success looks like to answer Henry's question. You put, I went to University of Southern California, put that on there, put in your volunteer things, This is a great chance to spend 1 hour. That's all it takes. And it benefits you all year long. Imagine you could build something for 1 hour and people can, by the way, I have 89 recommendations on here. People actually wrote out, back in the day, it used to be really important, but 89 people have said, I think this guy's pretty cool. Here's a paragraph about what he's saying, right? That only helps me. And then if you keep going down, what does his Twitter look like, right? So here's what success looks like. Clear, square image, have something in the background that makes sense. Who are you? We want to know. We want tactical and practical. I mean, yeah, you could be altruistic and, whatever. You could have a quote from a movie, but is that going to help you? And what I want you to think about as ambassador is the upside going to outweigh the downside. The upside of is, am I going to get into that dream school? Am I going to open people up to the Josh that they're looking for? Am I going to clearly tell them? The downside could be that, well, they just don't know because there's all these other more interesting things that look like they're hazards. But I want them to find the Henry they're looking for. And so if you think it's going to be cool to your friends, rethink that. How do we make it cool to colleges? Because I promise you, in college, you're going to have a lot of friends too. Your friends right now are amazing and will be with you, but we also need to make sure you're shining online. So go through some of these images, click on some of these images over here on Twitter, which, many of you, if not all of you, are on Twitter. Just go through and weed out some of the things that you've liked, maybe. Go through those and make sure that you haven't liked something that might be inappropriate. I'm not saying they're going to go through it, but Google picks this stuff up, and then just go through some of the other things. So clear, square version of your image of who you are. Use the same photo across all of them. That's a little tiny pro tip. It's easy to find. And then also one more tip. Let me show you one more thing. Raise your hand if you have a YouTube channel. Oh man, this is awesome. Can I give you guys a nerdy tip that'll change your Google results on YouTube? All right. Okay, so let's go to YouTube and let's see if we can switch accounts and go to Josh Ochs. More accounts. Let me see if I can find Josh Ochs. We've got a ton of different things here. I don't know if it's going to let me, but let me go back over to Smart Social. So, and then let me jump over here. Sometimes it doesn't let me switch accounts. Yeah, it might not. Okay, so let's go over to Josh Ochs, youtube.com/Josh Ochs. Let's see if that comes up. Okay, here's a nerdy little thing. I get featured in the news from time to time. I'm not trying to brag. All I'm saying is that wouldn't be a bad thing to come up first. So I had it auto play on my home screen. This is kind of dorky. This is a view of the Malibu. We're kind of close to where I live. I probably should update that image to be more like my Twitter that shows me as a public speaker. But do you guys see in the upper right? Do you see these little links right here? What this tells Google, by the way, Google owns YouTube, but I'm feeding this into Google is, guys, Google, this is the Josh Ochs website. And I used those words that's a really special search engine optimization technique. You can add all these links to the upper right and they're associated websites. And I'm telling Google, this is Josh's YouTube, a YouTube called Josh Ochs. And here's all these other accounts that this YouTube channel think are the other Josh Ochs. Don't link to your friends here. Link to Josh Ochs website, Josh Ochs Google+. This is social media. This is my company, Josh Ochs, the public speaker for corporate speaking, Josh Ochs on Smart Social, which is my student speaking, Josh Ochs Facebook, and Josh Ochs Instagram. This tells Google through super secret stuff, this is the Josh you're looking for. Pull all these in together and let's put them above the fold. And that's a little secret to taking the internet seriously, showing employers, hey, this guy's serious. He's putting his best foot forward. And I've got a bunch of nerdy videos, right? I like, this is hilarious. I probably could remove this, but I teach people some IoT stuff on the side. And one day I taught people how to fix their Jeep for free or for $80 instead of $400. It has 21,000 views. I taught people how to replace their headlamps. Now, I'm not ashamed of showing people how to lower their costs and stuff, and I'm actually really handy. I can't play a musical instrument, but I can use a power tool unlike anybody else. So I show people, here's how you actually change this stuff. Here's how you build this stuff. Here's my dad and I built a car. So all these different things, I'm okay with 99% of them being out there. Some of them are kind of nerdy. I could probably remove my IoT little Christmas tree one on how I wired up my Christmas tree. But is it anything I'm ashamed of? No. But this is a kind of a pro tip on YouTube. YouTube is your backbone of Google, even though no one knows that. And this is where a lot of this stuff goes. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
And then notice how in a lot of my videos, the word Josh Ochs is in there. You'll see Josh Ochs in any of the videos that have the words Josh Ochs in there will usually come up above the fold or be more inclined to do that. We do the same thing on some of our bigger brands and stuff. Are we on the same page there?
Yeah.
Does anyone, do you have a YouTube? Has by a show of hands, has anyone used those links in the upper right? Anybody? No? How many of you think you might go do that? Anybody? Okay, cool. Go do that and email your teacher and tell them if it works out in the next couple of weeks. Try that and link to your personal website, your Google Plus, anything that you want a college to see. You're basically building a micro portfolio of kind of signals. Google listens to signals. It wants you to connect the dots for it because it is a very smart machine. You cannot outthink Google. So anybody that's listening or watching, we're basically on the YouTube channel, and in the upper right, there are ways to create those signals, and it's important. It's important to spend a little bit of time. You're going to see that in the future, people are spending time. Right now, very few people actually Google themselves, but in a year, 2 years, we're going to hear some really interesting stories or where the best candidates didn't spend time on that. Imagine you were the very best candidate for something, but you didn't care about grades, which is what that impacted major cared about. You cared about something different. Well, if we need to know what they care about, and sometimes that's Google results. Any more questions? Any big frustration? Yeah, Henry. Yes.
I just have questions for you. What did you do outside of social media? How do you get started? Because I know we're all interested in the media field. Coming from someone who has a big brand himself and has branded himself outside of that, how did you get started and how do you really get involved in it?
Yeah, do you guys mind if I share my screen with you just real quick and kind of walk you through some of the presentation that I share with students? Is that okay?
Yes.
All right, so I show people, here's some anti-bullying stuff. I talk to students about anti-bullying, but basically I teach students how to search on Google, Instagram ideas, search for celebrities, and how to lose an opportunity. You guys can see the Walt Disney Studios thing, right?
Yeah.
So this is where I got my start, and people here taught me how amazing it is when you make something valuable to others. I ran for city council, the youngest guy on the ballot, and here's me voting for myself on the day of the election. In a suburb of Los Angeles, I was running against people twice my age with a lot more money. But one thing that I knew that I could do that none of them could do, and the same thing is true for you, is I knew that when they saw my sign all over, because I didn't have much money, so when we used bicycles, with my sign, and we would park them all over the city. It was really scrappy. There's 100 ways you can be scrappy and people can see your name in a positive light. And so I had people riding bikes all over town because they were rooting for the underdog. I knew that the thing that they would do is they'd go search for me online after they saw my name. They'd say, I met this guy. He knocked on my door. Who is this guy? So I got my name out there by actually creating positive results for myself. And then I knew how to search for myself online. And I showed you a little bit here. First name and last name, and then first name and last name in quotes, right? I just showed you that. And then I also searched for myself first name and last name plus city or plus school. Now let's go really quickly into some other tricks that I have. How do I get my name out there? Here's my Instagram, and it's clear once again, I travel the country doing this, same square image. Colleges are gonna ask, they don't have much time. And if you at all hide something from them. Let me speak as an employer. If you hide something from us, you seem like a great candidate, but you go, no, I'm not on Instagram. That's shady, right? Every student your age, for some reason, should be have some kind of portfolio online. Now, if you don't want to be online and that's your parents' prerogative or whatever, that's fine. But more often than not, if they say, do you want to share your social media? That's your chance to go, here's my Instagram, my Twitter, and my YouTube, right? I've got nothing to hide. I want to make sure that I'm putting my best foot forward, okay? And then I tell students, use the things you're already doing to create a portfolio of positive images. Volunteer somewhere. Find a place to volunteer. Red Cross, Habitat for Humanity, walk a neighbor's dog. When you're doing that, the way to create great images is take a classy group photo, ask the organization, do you mind if I take a classy photo with my friends and I? And they'll go, what? Why? Hey, I want to post it online because I'm an ambassador for High Point School and I want to do this. And they'll go, sure, that's great. When you take the classy group photo, put whatever you want below the message. But if you want to tip to know exactly what colleges are really looking for, because they have 1,000 resumes and they're like, this is neat, what is he doing? They're not going to look below and want you to be super motivational. Like, oh, the trees smelled like flowers in the early morning. You know, they want to know, what are you doing? You're on a hike? Oh, you're in Yosemite. You're in the backwoods. That's so cool. I've been to Yosemite too. That's neat, right? They want to actually lean into you and better understand, what are you doing? So consider saying thank you to your organization or your friends and talk about the activity. Actually be a little bit practical and tactical. Hey, thanks to my parents for this. If it's a big group project and you feel like you're bragging, just say thank you. Thank you to this organization for joining. We had a good time. I slipped and fell in the mud, and that's why one of my legs is completely, muddy, but we had a great day because we built a house for these people. It's okay to make fun of yourself, but tell the school, tell the employer, tell the adult what you actually did, because they have to move so fast. They don't have time to go through your account and really feel it. They just kind of want to see it and know it. Does that make sense to everybody? Cool. Okay, and then I've got some friends here that actually just say what they're doing, right? Dodger game, thank you to my friends for doing this. This is my friend Rich. This is his Twitter account, and he's nationally syndicated TV talk show tech reporter. Thank you to this pet shop for letting us share some of our tech tips with you. Cool. This person, Lisa, far right, my friend that worked on Disneyland, the theme park. Thanks to my team at Disneyland for helping us to do this, this, and this. She knows she can make it about herself, but sometimes she brings her team together. And then Miss Utah, Kelsey, far left. She could make it all altruistic and fun and feel good, but she just says, look, thank you to my friends who supported me over the last year for this. Here's what we're going to do with this. Boom, 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 boom. It's just a little bit easier, and now it's a portfolio, and she's proud of the story plus the image. And that's really the combo that we try and teach students. And then we go and search for celebrities with students too. And we show how Twitter comes up, and we show students kind of, who's that? Oh, that's Kanye West. Is that, we walk them through the dialogue that might happen and the red flags and hilarious stuff. Now, the next thing, 3 ways to remove bad Google results. And then I'm going to leave you guys and let you go. And I'm so thankful you're spending time with us here today, because we've had a few minutes together. This is awesome. 1, did you post it as an ambassador, as a student, as an applicant to your dream college? Remember, I said it's 2 years of hard work to build good Google results. For me, it's 5 to 7. But if you posted it, you can take it down, and usually it'll disappear in 2 to 3 days from Google. That doesn't mean keep it up and keep it there until you're ready to apply to your dream school. That means remove it as soon as you can and cross your fingers, and hopefully it goes away as early as 2 days. Maybe it never goes away, but if you posted it, take it down. Did one of your friends post it and it's a photo that comes up in your Google results and you're like, I don't like that? Well, ask them, hey, do you mind taking this down? Send them the link to the photo. Don't just go, yeah, there's a photo out there that I don't like, because that's vague. They don't have time. Nobody goes, oh, let me help Josh because there's a photo he doesn't like. No. They're not in it to win it. So we need to make sure they have a link to it. Hey, would you mind untag? And tagging doesn't matter. It's taking yourself out of it or removing that photo. If there's a ton of photos from a party, one of them looks really inappropriate, and I think your gut will tell you which one it is. Make sure you take the one down that your principal or anybody else says. Now, did somebody else, a celebrity with your same name, did they post it? Is it right? If they did, now's your chance to start creating Google results that are positive. Post positive photos and videos to move their bad results down to page 2, 3, or 4 of Google. Because if they find the Henry they're looking for on page 1, they're like, sweet, I've got 8 out of 10 links that I'm looking for. This is his Twitter. This is his Instagram, his Facebook. His parents are okay with him shining online in a positive way. It doesn't show where he lives, but it's all this good stuff. I don't need to go to page 2 because Henry and Kevin made it easy for me to be on page 1. They gave me what I wanted. I'm so excited. This is a candidate I like. Let me take their resume and let me put it in the good stack. Let's have our college bring this Henry in for a first round interview because we like this kid. Because we found that he just gave us a good feeling of who he is. Yeah, it's silly and self-deprecating, but he's the Henry we're looking for. We need a dynamic person on our campus. Are we all on the same page?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Now, what if I don't like my Google results? Well, at events, consider volunteering your phone to take pictures and control your image. So you could be the first one to go, hey guys, I want to, let's take a group photo, and then find an innocent bystander that isn't going to steal your phone. And consider saying, hey, take some photos of us. Now, at the end of the event, you're probably going to go, all right, this one is dorky, but Steve wanted it. I'll privately text it to him. This one's silly, but Samantha wanted this one. I'll text it to her. This one on the bottom right, that was a pretty harmless party, but that looks like there's a lot of alcohol there. For some reason, that could be taken out of context, and I don't have time to tell that story because I really want to get into my dream school more than anything in the world. And I want to get that internship like Josh talks about. And I want to go work at my version of Disney. And so I don't have time for somebody seeing the wrong side of me. I'm going to keep that private or delete it or whatever. But the one in the upper right where I look incredible in the middle in my tiara and my friends look incredible around me, that's the one that I'm proud of leaking on Google by putting it on my Instagram, my Google Plus, my Facebook account that all my friends think that I don't need, but I'm creating it because it's going to be on the first page of Google. And really it's extra credit that Google is begging me to do. That is the one that I'm proud of showing a college. Colleges, I'm here to be social, positive. I'm going to bring people together. I'm going to have a good time. You are not going to have to babysit me on your campus. I'm going to create an awesome online brand on your campus with the things I'm already doing. Put me in the good stack of resumes. I want to be on your campus more than anything in the world. That's the one I'm proud of, bringing people together. And that's really what colleges are kind of looking for. I also teach people how to get fired with one post. I talk about this company that has 65 plus locations all over the world and stuff. And this young woman, she applied and she got the job. And they said, great, come in like a few months. She tweets this, and I'm skimming it, but Cisco just offered me a job, and now I have to weigh the fat paycheck against the daily commute and hating the work, right? So they just offered her a huge job. It's super generous of them, and she tweets this, and she thinks, oh, it's cool. But she writes hating the work and all this stuff. One of the other employees sees it. Once again, I'm moving fast in the story, but who is the hiring manager, says the other employee on Twitter. I'm sure they would love to know that you will hate the work. We here at Cisco are versed in the web. We understand Twitter. We power servers. I know we seem old, but we're on the internet, right? And so you guys think she got this job? No, she didn't. But you're probably thinking, oh, you're being way too hard on her. You see, this young woman, you said, in the long version of the story, Josh, you said that she interviews well, she went to a good school, she volunteers. Josh, she could go interview anywhere. You're probably right. But do you think that the next company she interviews at, do you think they're going to search for her online? And the answer is yes. Here's what they're going to find. They're going to find that this is the #1 way to teach people how to get fired with just one tweet. You see this incident was picked up and negatively written about by CNN, ABC, NBC, Huffington Post, and more. And now when you search for this young woman online, instead of getting the positive results that Henry and Kevin have, where above the fold, you get the person you're looking for, now you get this person. You get how Twitter can get you fired in 140 characters, how Twitter, this person, boom, 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 all the first page of Google. Instead of getting this person's name, you get all of this different stuff that they have written about. Now, here's my 3 words that you as an ambassador may consider. They're nerdy, but they kept me out of trouble when I was running for a very contentious race in politics. Even though I lost by only 350 votes, I asked myself, Josh, is what you're about to post light on Instagram? Is it positive? Is it fun on Instagram? Is it a part of what you want to do? Awesome, check. Next, is it bright? Be smart, think first. If it is, check. And last, is it polite? Are you proud of it ending up on a billboard for the rest of the world seeing it? If it is, then it's light, bright, and polite. Okay, now the next tips I have for all of you ambassadors, go search for yourself on Google, please. This week, it's Monday, and I'm excited about what you're going to find. Use your Instagram as a portfolio. It is no longer just a pastime. It now has a purpose. And then last, take group photos and share them on social media. Hey guys, I'm really excited I got to spend some time with you today. I'm really thankful for all of you. Kevin in the back, thank you so much for your time today. I want to let all of you get on to your next class and have a great day. Any final words that we have for this?
Thanks, Justin.
Thank
you. Thanks for providing us the opportunity to talk to you. We really appreciate that. Our ambassadors are looking forward to looking at all those tips and then applying them into basically their lives right now.
I love it. I want all the best for all of you. I want all of you to get into the college of your dreams. I'm so excited about what you're going to do. I want to hear through Kevin about you guys. I'd love to get emails or whatever you find. If there's anything that goes wrong, let us know. I'm Josh. I'll see you guys soon. You have a great day.
Thank you.